Ladies and gents, welcome to War Thunder with Mags, and welcome aboard the B7A2 Japanese Era 3 Battle Rank 4 dive bomber. Now the B7A2 is a fun little machine. I do quite enjoy flying it, but I don't see a lot of them around, and I think it's because of where it's positioned in the tech tree. This is the last aircraft available in its line. There is no aircraft to research once you have this thing unlocked, so it's effectively a dead end in the research tree. But a hell of a way to have a dead end. Now the armaments on this aircraft are two 20mm forward-facing cannons, pilot controlled with 240 rounds of ammunition, a rear-facing single 50 caliber machine gun, and in the configuration I've got it in here, I'm carrying 460 kilo and two 250 kilo bombs, so it's got a decent payload, especially for an Era 3 aircraft. Now the closest aircraft to compare the B7A2 against in War Thunder at the moment is the BTD Destroyer, the American premium dive bomber. And in truth, the two planes fly almost the same. Both are equipped with air brakes and incredibly good air brakes. The BTDs are a little bit better, I feel. But that's not to say the ones on the B7A2 are bad. They're really, really good. Ammunition firepower wise are almost the same. Maneuvering actually goes to the B7A2. It is a more maneuverable aircraft, although it doesn't have the speed and climb capabilities that the BTD does at this time. And as a result, I feel that this is a very, very underrated aircraft. It's got great cockpit visibility, as you just saw. And while you can't see a lot at the moment because I'm heavily in the clouds on the Iwo Jima map, you get a good feel for the aircraft. Now, as I just mentioned, I'm on the Iwo Jima map and I've taken issue with these cargo ships that are about to start spamming our shores with tanks, so they need to be removed. However, I have been noticed. So I'm beginning my first dive on a cargo ship. Now the bomb release order for this aircraft is the 60 kilos first and then the 250s. I wasn't sure about it at this point in time, so I just drop a single bomb as the cargo ships do not take a lot of damage in order to take out. So first bomb away. Solid hit, but no destruction. Now I'm just manoeuvring around for a second pass. I know that a 250 kilo bomb will take out a cargo ship in a single hit. I'm just not sure how many 60s I'll have to deploy, and I'm hoping no more than two. So second pass. Single bomb away. Now I've taken a couple of hits from AA, but it really doesn't bother the handling of the aircraft. Until things start going flashing red to black, this plane handles just fine. And here comes the Cobra. People seem to forget this thing's equipped with forward firing 20mm, so there goes a Cobra. First kill. So I come around for my next pass against the next cargo ship. I now know 260 kilos will do the job. So release two. Second ship kill. I now have two 250 kilos that will release independently out of the internal bomb bays. So I have two more ship kills left in this aircraft. Just setting myself up on a better attack angle. Roll under so I avoid a little bit of AA fire, line up the third cargo ship, and tail gunner's going off. I'm taking hits from behind, but tail gunner does a good job, takes the engine out in a single shot. Enemy aircraft destroyed, second kill of the match, and I got the cargo ship as well. Unfortunately I'm still taking AA and fire. I haven't realised it just yet, but there's a hawk on my tail. I take a massive burst that nails the engine and blackens the wing. I know I'm not going to make it back home, so I take over the tail gunner and start popping rounds off. I get some good solid hits, but I'm shooting a little wildly and pilot knocked out. Now despite that, I managed to do enough damage in those hits that the Hawk crashed a few moments later. But that was all I did in this match, maybe 3 minutes worth of work. So let's check out the results. So that 3 minutes in battle was good enough for 3 air kills, 2 ground kills, the fighter and bomber award, first place for the team, 62,280 silver lions, 5,132 mod research points, and 3,849 air research points. Now this match was a win, and it was a win because the matchmaker put together the teams as 2 groups of 6 players. So because this aircraft wasn't offered the respect it should have been, and players were a little foolhardy when moving in to attack it, this little dive bomber was able to wipe out half the enemy team in under 3 minutes. Not bad for a plane that a lot of people seriously underrate. But let's move on. So next up we have the F8F-1b Bearcat. Now I thought I'd bring this thing out for a little bit of a spin because, well, 1.39 is bringing on some flight model changes for the Bearcats, and I thought I would enjoy it in its current state before I have to relearn how to fly the aircraft. Now I'm flying out in this match with Russell FPS. He's one of my subscribers and he has just unlocked his 1B Bearcat, and this is one of his first flights in it ever. So he's got off the runway first, as is per normal. My old computer tends to have me load in rather late, so I'm usually always the last plane off the ground. Now this is the military exercise map, so it's Americans versus British. I'm really beginning to hate this map. It's all I ever seem to get some days. But I'm climbing out over the bay and over the ocean, angling out to the right to set myself up for side attacks on whatever the enemy happens to bring in. Maintaining climb rate, maintaining speed at over 300 kilometers an hour. Now, a couple of minutes of climbing later, and I'm beginning my turn to head back into the centre of the island. We are getting close over our own area bombing targets now, so I'm expecting the first fighters of the enemy team, their advanced forces, to start showing up. We've created a little bit of a fighter screen. Me and Russell FPS are flying relatively close together over the edge of the island. Just above the beach is a little inland, and we have a second swarm of F8Fs that are down to the left, out over the bay looking for white attackers. And first target has presented itself, and we have a Tempest. Now I'm always wary of Tempests. A lot of people really downgrade the performance that these things are capable of doing in skilled hands, and you cannot judge how skilled a pilot is simply by looking at their name on a tag. So while I do move in immediately to dive, I am carefully monitoring everything that's going on. These aircraft are very capable of turning around and just biting you in the arse the second you give them an inch of room to do so. Russell's engaging a second Tempest at altitude at the moment, making sure it doesn't have a position to turn around and dive on me. The Tempest currently doesn't have view on the rest of my team, so it's only just realised it's climbing towards the rest of the swarm. It goes for a brake turn and dive. Following it through the blackout, and it tries to go for a climb. Big mistake. Turning that tightly underneath a Bearcat when you can see it's got an angle on you resulted in his death, but it has taken my altitude to do so. So I now have two Tempests above me. Russell has taken damage. He's managed to survive and he's evading, but he's not in a position to be able to engage that second Tempest and keep me clear. So I've turned straight back towards the base and I'm flying straight and level, trying to get my airspeed up to make it as hard as possible for one of those two Tempests that are up there to be able to dive. Just getting a little bit of clearance and a little bit of distance away. I think I'm pretty safe, so start angling up for a climb. I need that altitude back. Do a slight turn back towards my own forces. They'll provide me with the rest of the cover I need, or at least a deterrent for players diving in on me to allow me the time I need to get the altitude back. I've got a wingman stuck at altitude that I cannot help at the moment, and he has taken more damage now. Second Tempest does not seem to be approaching, it's staying at distance. Well, actually it's disappeared now, it's been replaced by a Spitfire. At this battle ranking, the Spitfire is likely a Mark 9 LF, so it's a very dangerous opponent, so I'm monitoring what it's doing now as well, because it does look like it's moving in fast. Just closing in, getting ready to take a shot. And the Spitfire rolls up and over. I move to follow. It flies into the fire of 3, manages to avoid, but it's going into a climb. I'm not going to be able to gain altitude on it, so I'm hoping it'll dive and come back to me. Having to point the nose down to shorten my turn and get ready to go into the loop. I'm going to have to take a vertical shot. It's a risky move to do because this is damn near going to stall my plane. And miss. And there's a hit. Now that was dangerous to do. It pushed me into a stall situation. The only reason I took the move is, one, it was my wingman that was in danger of being destroyed by the Spitfire, and the rest of my team has managed to force the second Tempest to the ground, so there was nothing now that could dive on me. Russell's tail's cleared, but he's taken a third bout of damage, and I've told him it's time for him to go home and get a repair. He's not going to be any more use in this fight, not against these players. I begin my turn back towards the island. Now, while I am still over the bay, it's likely they've moved all inland, and we have pushed them back nearly to their area bombing targets, so it's likely the next attack I'm going to have to be dealing with flak fire from the AAA guns. So I am aware of that, and I'm being cautious trying to spot dots and spot targets at range. I don't want to have to manoeuvre in and search through an area while I'm being attacked by AAA. I'd rather know where the targets are so I can get in, get the kill, and get the hell out. We got a Tempest at low altitude. Just turned to position myself above it at the moment. There is already one Bearcat on its tail and a second one diving down, and I'm not really willing to give up the altitude to go and get it at this time. Sadly, however, sometimes it does become a necessity to do so. Now, he is the last player left on the team, and he's just shot down one of the two Bearcats and is moving to kill the second one now, and has the second one on the ropes. He's broken away. The second Bearcat has taken damage, so I was informed via chat. So I'm going to have to get down there and help him deal with it, because he's having trouble. Sitting on the very edge of the dive performance. If I go much faster in the Bearcat, I'm going to rip my wings here, so I'm just trying to maintain the red line. It's a risky move to do. If I suddenly sneeze and jerk the mouse, I'm likely going to rip my wings off and kill my plane, but it's the only way to intercept it fast. Now, we just put a shot in and done more damage to that second Bearcat in a turn. Killed the engine speed to dive through. Now, I overcooked it on the first turn, but this was more of a braking turn than anything else to drop me into position on the back of the Tempest. Combat flaps deployed, push the engine power back up. I'm still carrying enough airspeed to easily intercept it. It's moving for a kill shot on the Bearcat, and I take it out. Third kill. Fortunately, the Bearcat pilot was able to outmaneuver the last shot of the Tempest. It got a round off before I managed to kill it, and he managed to survive. He has taken damage, but he's got full ammo loads on, and he's moving straight out to start hunting down the AI and end this match. And I move to do the same thing. Intercept this Boo Fighter, take it out. It's the last AI of the match. There's the kill. Now I immediately start looking for ground targets that are close in the area that I can strafe out before the match comes to a close. It's always worth doing so if you have extra ammo on board while the points bar is ticking down. It's extra credits and XP. If there's anything in the area, take it out. Let's go check out the results. So, results of the match. I come in first place for the team, 4 air kills and 2 ground kills. That's 3 players and an AI. Final blow, fighter, bomber, and the bulletproof award. 85,187 silver lions, 7,664 mod research points, and 3,852 air research points on a premium account on a double. So, the 1B Bearcat. This might be one of the last matches in this plane that I post before 1.39 changes the flight model, and it's going to be really interesting to see how the new FM performs and stacks up in comparison to the old one. The current iteration of the 1B is extremely dangerous, easily one of the most dangerous prop fighters in the game, and I do love flying it, although I try not to abuse the privilege of having one fully upgraded. It's also going to be very interesting to see how the 1B performs against its new, more dangerous opponent for this particular map, the new Griffin-powered Spitfires, and I'm very, very interested in finding out how it does. Well, ladies and gents, I'm going to call this one here. I hope you enjoyed the video. Click like if you do, subscribe if you want to see more. Fly smart, fly safe, and I'll catch you in the skies.